Dear audience friends, welcome to my channel. Don't forget to subscribe and like. Let's get started.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Narrative Relationship. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more stories like these. Now, let's dive into today's story. I caught my wife cheating with her college student, and I ruined both of their careers. Part 2. I thought it was normal to try and help out the one you love, and that was precisely what I did. The worst part was my mother not supporting my relationship and marriage with Leah, but I married her, which shook our relationship. After recapping the past and returning to my reality, I got my act together and asked my private investigator to keep following Leah. I was unsatisfied with the picture evidence and wanted something more epic. I wanted to catch them in the act. When I got home that day, I didn't say a word to confront her, despite how angry I was. I wanted to leave the house. I feared I would harm her in her sleep, so I packed a couple of clothes from the closet. In the process of doing so, I found something that destroyed whatever love was left in my heart for Leah. I found packs of birth control pills carefully tucked under the pile of folded clothes. It didn't make sense to me initially because Leah could not conceive. We tried for 2 years and nothing happened, so she had no reason to take birth control pills unless she was trying to prevent getting pregnant. Almost immediately, it dawned on me that she had been taking birth control pills the whole time. She was the reason she could not conceive, yet she allowed me to worry and think something was wrong with us. I held the birth control pills and cried bitterly. Finding out she was on birth control pills hurt me more than knowing she cheated on me with a younger guy. Well, I left the house and told her I would visit my mother and would return that weekend. It was bait, and I hoped she would take it. I had to watch the hotel that night to clear my head. The following day, my PI notified me that he had been following Leah the whole afternoon, and it seemed like she and her affair partner were heading to my house. This was precisely what I wanted. I had seen videos of men bursting in on their cheating wives, and I was ready to go all out for her. I spiced things up by hiring a videographer and paid him to follow me. Shortly after Leah and Ryan arrived at my house, I arrived too, but I waited for them to settle. About 15 minutes later, I went into the house with my videographer. She never locked the front door, and I could bet on that, especially when she knew I wasn't coming home until the weekend. We crept to the room, and no one heard us because the soft music played in the living room. My stomach turned as I walked to our bedroom door, and without wasting time, I kicked the door open and made the videographer record Ryan standing behind me as they did it. The next minute, they were scurrying for their clothes like rats. As soon as she wrapped her head around what was going on, she started screaming and yelling at me. I was so angry that I pulled her by the arm and threw her out of the house naked. Her affair partner managed to wear his pants, and he ran out before I could return to him. It was a terrible scene. She yelled and banged on my door, and the neighbors were forced to come out and see what was going on. When she realized what she had done, she ran into her car and drove off with Ryan. Long story short, that same day, which was 2 weeks ago, I forwarded all the pictures my PI gathered and the video from the videographer to the college she worked at. I got the idea from one of the stories I read here. I knew how it would end, and things turned out as expected. The following week, she was fired, and her dear lover was expelled in his final year. Now, the thing is, I thought all the pain and anger would go away after I ruined their careers, but nothing has changed. I even feel more terrible now, because Leah has been blowing up my phone and promised to make my life miserable since I ruined hers. I'm so confused right now. Wow, Opie, this is definitely a blow to the ego that she didn't need. At first, it seems like her attitude towards you was due to her own thoughts and feelings of not being able to start a family with you, as if she was battling her own inner demons. Turns out she was exercising a demon all right in the bedroom. So sorry she lied to you like that for so long and to make you worry at some point that you are unable to have children. That's so cruel to do to someone you claim to love. Moreover, I wonder how she was able to hide all of this on her electronics at the same time. You did start the relationship in shady circumstances. You knew she was still with her then boyfriend at the time, and yet you still pursued each other. I'm not saying you were asking for this, but it definitely didn't start off with the best intentions. Update 1, everyone, thank you for your comments. Most of you are saying our marriage was rushed, and I should have known her longer than that. To be honest, I didn't think our marriage was rushed. I was in love and didn't see anything wrong with getting married after 9 months of dating. I even know couples who dated for only 4 months and have been married for more than 20 years now. Anyways, I accept my mistake, and if I ever love again, I'll make sure to date long enough. You guys are also right. Leah breaking up with her ex-boyfriend to be with me was a red flag, and I should have known she would do the same with me once she saw someone new. It's just that I never expected things to turn out like this. Meanwhile, I met with Leah 2 days ago and gave her the divorce papers. She was stunned that I wanted to divorce her, and instead of signing it, she laughed. She said she was doing me a favor by marrying me. From the onset, I was too dumb for her. I swear that hurt, but I covered it up with a smile. Until 2 days ago, and the day I caught her red-handed, I had never seen her for the beast she was. Right now, it feels like a veil has been taken off my eyes, and I prefer to have this heartbreak now than to end up raising another man's child, only to realize in the future that she was cheating on me the whole time. The part that really messed with my head was that she showed no remorse. Instead, she kept talking about how lucky I was to be with her and how I wouldn't last a month without running to beg her to take me back. She wishes she didn't sign the divorce papers. She took them instead. She said she was giving me time to get over my hurt feelings and think about the mistake I was about to make. On the contrary, if only she knows that there can never be an us again. She still doesn't know I found the birth control pills, and I haven't mentioned anything. I thought she would bring up her being sacked due to breaking the rules, but she didn't. She focused more on me coming back to her. Meanwhile, I will update you all again as soon as she signs the divorce papers. She was only saying that to hurt you because she's angry at herself for getting caught. She had to say that to try to scare you into coming back because, in reality, she has and is nothing without you. She can't cook or clean for herself. Update 2. Hey guys, your comments have helped me, and I cannot appreciate you all enough. It is true, Leah was trying to manipulate me. She knew I was a weak spot, and she wanted to exploit that. I did as you advised, and she signed the divorce papers. I'm happy to announce that we are officially divorced, and she is out of my life for good. My apologies for not making this update earlier. After we divorced, I wanted some quiet time, so I went off social media for a few weeks. I would not have believed it if someone had told me that Leah would break in a matter of weeks. The other time we met for her to sign the divorce papers, she acted tough and like she was the only existing woman on earth. But after we divorced, she turned into a new person. She kept blowing up my phone and sent me multiple messages on Facebook. I was even forced to block her number and block her on social media, but that didn't stop her. Some days ago, she showed up at my front door looking all miserable and in tears. Funnily enough, some people commented that she would return, but I didn't believe them. Immediately I opened the door, she went to her knees and started to cry. She begged me to take her back. If I did, she would turn a new leaf. She went on to talk about how life had been hard for her without me in it, and as of the time she spoke, she had nowhere to stay, and her car was about to get repossessed. If I didn't help her, she had lost her job, and due to her tarnished reputation, she wasn't getting any other work. She had wasted all our savings on her student boyfriend, showering him in the best restaurant and gifting him the fanciest clothes. Now she's broke. Seeing her there enraged me again, and I tried to shut the door in her face, but she pushed forward. Her first plea did not work. She pulled a different card and said she had a confession to make. She exhaled deeply and explained that she could not get pregnant for the 2 years we tried because she was on birth control pills. She said she took them because she was not ready to become a mother back then, but now she was ready. If I took her back, she would get pregnant, and in a few months, we would have the child I've always wanted, and we'd be a big happy family. I allowed her to explain herself, and after she was done, I told her I knew about the birth control pills she was taking. That expression on her face was worth framing. Before she said another word, I told her that even if I could forgive her for cheating on me, I could never forgive her for making a fool out of me. She watched me as I worried for her and myself. I even prayed every night for us too, because I had run out of options, and prayer was the only thing left. I did many tests, yet she didn't say a word. She kept repeating her dumb phrase, and I believe we were on the same page. It's partially my fault. I should have suspected she knew something when she was acting concerned, but it felt like I was being paranoid. There's no need to ask if I took her back. I wouldn't be so stupid. I asked her to get off my property and promised to have her arrested if she showed up again. I guess it's just me now. I have never been heartbroken in the past, but I've never been so let down and devastated. Any suggestions on how to move on faster would be appreciated. Thank you, everyone, for all the comments and advice. It has really helped me. Yes, of course, life is hard without you. Who's going to clean up after her? She has to do that herself now. She sure did have some guts to ask you to take her back and to start a family. What an absolute train wreck and delusional buffoon to think that you'd actually take her back. As a blessing, you didn't end up having a child with her. You'd be trying to fight for custody of a child that might not even be yours, and who needs that kind of stress? There's a woman out there for you, and you'll have the beautiful family you've always wanted. There's still time. Don't feel like you have to follow those societal pressures. Everyone's timeline looks different. All the best, Op. What do you make of this? Would you have figured something was up? Do you have a similar story? Let us know in the comments below. Next up, an ex-husband has to find his way out of this doghouse. Ex text me first, then says it's a weird recap. Ex-husband cheats on me in November, divorced in February. He marries her partner in June, who is pregnant. Over the last few weeks, he'll start texting me out of the blue, talking to me about our son and his life. He has mentioned several times how financially he is doing so well and has lots of kids. Me and him have a son, she has 2 kids, and now one on the way. Until Wednesday this week, we basically spoke every day, mostly when he's supposed to be at work. He doesn't text me when he's home. His wife hates it when we talk about anything together. I asked him why he's having a kid so soon, and this MF said to get the kid stuff out of the way so I'm not too old when the last kid is out of the house. He's 25. It's mostly because she's almost in her mid-30s. He kept texting me about financial problems, but that he claims he's happy. Says his wife takes care of him. Nothing else about what he likes about her, what he does for her, just what she can do for him. On Wednesday, he texts me saying that us talking is weird and that we shouldn't ever be friends. We weren't in the first place. Says it's unhealthy for us both, and he loves his wife, and that won't change. Like he's insinuating that I'll go after him. What the EFF? I'm just confused, because he was the one that kept engaging in conversation with me. Maybe he's just dealing with his own insecurities and placing it on me. I don't want him back, and I certainly don't go after married men. Why would he do that? Maybe his new wife caught him still cheating with you, and now he's in the doghouse. If she takes care of him, maybe she threatened to cut him off. It probably is healthier to distance yourself from him, though. Update: I had a doctor's appointment set for my son for the last 2 months. I had so much going on, I didn't remember the exact day, and I got a notification that it's tomorrow. Well, I text my ex about getting his affair partner set up to take him to appointments. I just started a job, I'm not in a position to miss work. She watches him during the day for me and my ex. He tells me to talk to her about that, and then I told her about the appointment. She texts me that she can't, even though she's literally home all day with the kids. He texts me, chewing me out on how I should have asked her instead of told. I only did what he said to do. He says that she's not my nanny and that I don't need to boss her around. Then says, because of the text from last week, that from now on if I need to talk to him, it needs to be through her. That I make him uncomfortable, and he doesn't want to talk to me anymore. I don't know if she has his balls in a vice or what. He blows up on me because I just spoke to her about my son's appointment. I'm tired of dealing with them. The community actually had a response. It says to make alternative arrangements for childcare on your days and mandate the use of a co-parenting app in your custody arrangement. It'll free you from all of this crap. Oh, she's definitely in control of those balls of his. He 100% got in trouble for talking to you and threatened to take everything away. She's threatened by you, and that's okay. He really shouldn't be talking to you more than he should.